Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh. At the end of the Sikh common prayer, the congregation says the words, Nanak Naam, Chardi Kala, Tere Bane, Sarbat Da Bala. Chardi Kala. Chardi Kala is a word that changes everything. It is a mindset that we can use to be able to change from being unable to take action in our lives to actually being able to do so. Using Chardi Kala requires taking small steps across our lives in order to create change. Every time we are faced with a challenge, Chardi Kala can help us to gain the strength to move forward. In the 8th grade, I took my seat near the middle of the yellow school bus. And every day, a girl would sit next to me and she would jeer at me. She made fun of how I dressed, how I looked, and what I believed in as a person. As a 13-year-old, I honestly had no backbone to stand up to this girl. As the days, weeks, and months went on, I said nothing. Fast forward to another situation I was in. I was in class reading a book, just minding my own business, and these 2 boys walked up to me and started to bully me. They called me a towel head, a terrorist, and claimed that I had a weapon inside of my turban to my face. This time, I got so angry and so upset that I decided to do something about it. I asked the dean if there could be anything the school could do to help me out. We had a mandatory class session on my religion, and this put virtually an end to all of the bullying I experienced in school. Little did I know, I came across Chardi Kala in a more real-life situation. After a couple more incidents of bullying and some life-changing events, I got the spark to learn more about what Chardi Kala is. I turned to activists in my community to see what made them tick, and I found something very interesting. I noticed that all activists in my community were driven by Chardi Kala. Then, I took some time to break down the word, Chardi Kala, wrestle with it to see how could I use Chardi Kala on my journey to becoming an activist. From my journey to understanding Chardi Kala, I have come to the conclusion that Chardi Kala is the answer for us to move from being inactive in our own worlds and our own lives to actually doing something. So how do we begin to use Chardi Kala? First, we must examine and acknowledge that a problem exists. In my personal experience with bullying, I acknowledged the fact that I was being bullied by 2 middle school boys. Understanding the size of the problem also helps us to get some perspective on it. I understood that while the bullying I experienced was difficult to deal with, I knew that it was only one incident at one point in time in my life. Second, we must also accept the fact that while there's an ideal reality we wish to have with this given situation, it's just not going to happen right now. What I mean by this is that ideally, in my case, I should have stood up to those 2 boys who bullied me. But I cannot turn back the clock to have a do-over. We also must acknowledge any negative feelings that come up in the process of using Chardi Kala. I was angry, I was scared, I was sad, I was upset. I allowed these feelings to just wash over me for a moment and allowed myself to just feel them. Next, we must accept our reality. I accepted the fact that the bullying I experienced was indeed my reality. Then, it is time to take action. In my case, when I went home that day after the 2 boys bullied me in middle school, I wrote down what happened and I asked the dean if anything could be done. I called on my community to help me solve a problem. Taking action can be in the form of solo work or work alongside community members. In the work that I'm currently doing as a Sikh who's an evolving activist, I'm working alone. But I always have the support of the community should I need any help. Recently, I have used Chardi Kala to start thinking about projects I would like to take on to help impact my community in a positive way. In the future, Chardi Kala will help me to not be dissuaded in the face of a challenge or an adversity. One word, Chardi Kala, a starting point in our journey to become activists. One word which can help us to create change. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.